What's up, guys? Last season, many of us who watched the NBA closely felt the Lakers did not have enough defense to compete for an NBA title. But the tired trope of that you can't win a title with no defense co-stars Austin Reeves and Luka was, in my opinion, not quite the issue. At a middle school level of basketball, defense is 90% athleticism and effort and 10% basketball IQ. At each level as you go up, the percentages go closer to 50-50. And of course, in D1 and the NBA, they start to include film study. Austin Reeves and Luka are both highly intelligent offensive players. Being an elite offensive player, of course, includes knowing how to dissect defenses. So that would obviously imply that you should understand how to be a great defensive player. So yes, the narrative is out there that Reeves and Luka are traffic cones. But is that really what the advanced stats and film said last year? Well, the first clue is how the Lakers as a team did in various stretches of the season. Well, they started off very well, despite injuries to Luka, LeBron, and Reeves. But once all three were healthy and playing, they really struggled despite all that talent on paper. They did have a 20-11 record, but if you look closer and watch the games, they were all extremely close. They were actually the only team in the last 30 years to have a negative 0.4 point differential and still be over 20-11. Until December 31st, the Lakers had a net rating of only 0.6, which was league average. However, they still had a good record due to a crazy 10-0 record in clutch games, often driven by Luka's heroics. The Lakers had up until this season a rough history in the clutch in the LeBron era, with LeBron famously being 1 for 29 in joining the Lakers on tying or go-ahead attempts in the last 5 seconds in the fourth quarter or OT. Yes, that is a crazy stat. But Luka was finally starting to fix those problems. However, after Austin Reeves had a star turn with Luka and LeBron out early in the season, they both returned and Austin got subjected to more of a third option most nights, and that was when the team started to struggle. But something crazy happened. And guys, I know that a lot of you don't want to give LeBron credit for anything, but to be objective, I have to give him credit for this, even though I guarantee you it came from the Lakers' new owner's analytics team. Starting in the new year, the Lakers put an emphasis on LeBron lowering his shot totals and looking to distribute more, and instead looking to score when AR or Luka were on the bench, essentially making LeBron the third option on offense. This immediately worked. Post January 1st, the Lakers jumped from a 0.6 net rating to a 3.1 net rating, but more specifically to LeBron, similar to 2025 when he was a negative 55 plus minus for the Lakers, while AR and Luka were number 2 and 3 in the Lakers at plus 195 and plus 176, he also was off to a slow start in 2026. He was making $52 million, but the Lakers were a negative 9.8 net rating with him, Luka, and Reeves on the floor together. After he accepted the third option role around January 1st, the Lakers immediately jumped to a plus 11.6 net rating with that trio until the end of the season. This led to a 33-18 record the rest of the way. Marcus Smart, of course, was picking up the defensive slack for everybody, leading the team in a plus 256 for the season. Now you go to the offseason. Clearly again, to most of us, the Lakers as constructed were not a championship contender. But to me, watching film, yes, Austin Reeves does try really hard on defense, but he lacks lower body strength. Foot speed is a false narrative to me in the NBA. Yes, there are freak foot speed athletes like Cason Wallace and my favorite defender in the NBA, Davion Off-Night Mitchell. But most of the time, the best defenders have elite lower body strength. They can stay in front for 5 to 7 seconds when average defenders get tired after the first 1 or 2 moves. Reeves and Luka can shine with effort if they have great help defense because they are so smart. They can move side to side for not very long, but they can get steals and close out on shooters. Marcus Smart was obviously brilliant for them defensively, and he put on an absolute clinic against the Rockets, and he also really hampered SGA. But offensively, he'll make 4 to 5 plays a game where you're not really convinced you can win a championship with him as your point guard. And DeAndre Ayton being the starting center on a championship team at this point is a ludicrous thought. Although I firmly believe he has an elite skill set, the mental fortitude and team buy-in is just not there consistently. So now that brings us to LeBron. With Marcus Smart gone, if you have Luka, AR, and Quentin Grimes as your guards, Adu Thiero, Jake LaRavia, and Sandro Mamu as your forwards, and Walker Kessler as your center, can LeBron be that missing championship piece if he theoretically signs for that $4 million a year deal with the Lakers as he just did with the Sixers? I would say absolutely not at this point. You're probably one 3-and-D player and a backup center away from being a championship contender, and and I believe if the team is doing well, they'll address this at the trade deadline. Maybe Adu Thiero, who I'm a big fan of and was another great draft pick by Pelinka, will become that 3-and-D guy. So now to Rich Paul and LeBron's narrative. They have stated several things that we know publicly and several things that Rich quote-unquote leaked to Shams and Brian Windhorst. The first narrative that we heard publicly from LeBron was that he was thinking about retirement and wasn't really sure if he was coming back. Then, immediately after that got the media firestorm they desired, Rich leaked privately LeBron was looking to return to the Lakers, but was only willing to accept less than the max if the Lakers presented a plan of how they would reappropriate that money to build the championship team. Then the Lakers publicly through Pelinka and Jeanie Buss stated that they would very much like for LeBron to retire a Laker, which on the surface seems like a future endorsement. When you look at it closer, saying we want you to retire as a Laker is a lot different than saying we want you back next year. So then the Lakers got ready to launch their offseason plans after meeting with Luka and him expressing to no one's surprise that he wanted an elite lob finishing center to anchor the defense and more shooting. Rich Paul reached out for more information about LeBron's conditions under which he would be willing to take a pay cut. The Lakers' end then went completely silent according to multiple reports. In my opinion at this point, Jeanie Buss, who was extremely fried with LeBron after he begged to trade for Westbrook and then blamed ownership when it didn't work out, stepped in and told Pelinka, sure, we'll take LeBron for a vet minimum, but under no circumstances are we having a meeting to explain ourselves to appease him, especially after we drafted Bronny. So now, as I predicted in a previous video, LeBron and Rich Paul were now extremely concerned how this would look in the optics, so of course they had a narrative ready. Rich, hearing the numbers of the new Austin Reeves max deal and hearing a Kessler trade was imminent, immediately told LeBron what was happening and they released their next narrative. LeBron was graciously letting the Lakers know he was moving on because he wanted a change and he didn't want to hold them back. But the reality was clear it was something else. The Lakers wanted to make all the moves they desired and then would give LeBron whatever money was left, which would clearly be the vet minimum or mid-level exception. This kind of goes back to when Rich Paul was clearly slandering Austin Reeves a couple months ago. They were trying to get out in front of this and make sure that Reeves got less money so that LeBron could get more. We all have to remember, as we will get into in a second about the 76ers, there is only one ball. Yes, assembling talent and figuring out the rest is great on paper, but there is still only one ball. And LeBron is still good at freight training to the basket and passing, but not much else. So bottom line from the Lakers side, they clearly were extremely happy to get out from that $52 million contract, and as Rick Bucher said on his podcast, LeBron was clearly shocked that the Lakers acquired Luka in the first place, and how quickly they rightly pivoted to supporting him. LeBron and Rich Paul can spin that how they want, but the reality is the Lakers only wanted him back at a vet minimum. Now to the decision 3.0, and what led LeBron to join the 76ers. It's really quite simple. LeBron in his career has never really understood or looked at fit at all. He has tried to play GM at many points in his career, regularly advocating for players at an unprecedented rate that we've never seen from a superstar. But in this case, the play, in my opinion, was 100% the Miami Heat. Golden State has zero chance in the West with or without LeBron. The Cavs are dragged down by James Harden, and the 76ers, like I said, only have one ball. They have no dirty work role players in their starting lineup. The Heat would give LeBron by far the most usage of any of these teams, and I think he would pair perfectly with Giannis in the sense that he's an elite two-way superstar to make up for LeBron's defensive deficiencies, and their elite slashing could create easy offense for shooters. But there's one massive stumbling block. LeBron will never ever go to a situation willingly where he thinks he can manipulate and run the show behind the scenes. Yes, LeBron's priority appears to be ring chasing, but his real priority is control and influence. And with the Miami Heat, there was one man who has ever stood up to LeBron in this instance in his career, and that is one Pat Riley. He was reportedly furious behind the scenes when LeBron left the first time because Dwayne Wade took a massive pay cut for LeBron to return. He repeatedly had clashed with LeBron's entourage during his stay in Miami, with LeBron expecting his entourage to come in the locker room and on planes, and Riley shutting that down. Pat has said all the right things in free agency towards LeBron, but you can tell there is still bad blood there from both sides. But that leads us to Philadelphia. Certainly an absolutely loaded team on paper. You can't trust Joel Embiid to stay healthy, but I'm a huge fan of Maxey and Edgecombe, and Jaylen Brown is going to be an extremely motivated superstar this year. But what's the key? The Bob Myers and Nick Nurses of the world. They will for sure let LeBron do whatever he wants. And I promise you, Rich and LeBron are banking on Joel Embiid being injured in the playoffs and thinking LeBron will ascend to be the experienced leader in the finals to cement his legacy. Which honestly, the injury part is honestly a good bet. But in my opinion, there's one thing LeBron is underestimating, and that is Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey on the surface is a really nice guy. He plays extremely hard. Every time I turn on a Sixers game and they're behind, he's going extremely hard to get them back in the game. I was really impressed when reports came out that in a team meeting last year, Embiid had been missing meetings and rehabs while injured, and Maxey called him out. This was still Embiid's team at the time, and he respected Maxey enough to listen and he apologized. Maxey is a clutch client and was recruiting LeBron hard, and he was celebrating when LeBron signed. But I think deep down, Maxey knows he's the best player on this star-studded team. Edgecombe, before he became the fifth option on this team, was also in my opinion destined for stardom. But these guys are absolute studs, and I don't think Maxey will let LeBron weasel his way into a high usage rate like he did last 2 years in the Lakers. I think when the playoffs come, Maxey will take over and be the clear number one option. Do the 76ers have enough to beat the Thunder, Spurs, or Knicks? That's the big question. In my opinion, they absolutely do, but that's on paper. You can't have more than one drama star on your team and win. And the Knicks, Thunder, and Spurs have really zero, and the 76ers now have two in Embiid and LeBron. So I think on paper and talent, the 76ers will have a great season, but they'll sink in the public and private drama and probably lose in the second round over the Eastern Conference Finals to a team like the Pacers or the Knicks. Don't count out the Pacers, guys. If Tyrese comes back healthy and they build a great chemistry with Zubac, they can beat the Knicks. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Y'all are legends. Thanks for all the support on the last video as well. I put a lot of work into it and y'all were amazing. Good luck to LeBron in this last ring chase. I hope he can win over the crazy Philly fans, but we will see. Guys, I've made it a goal to get to 20 members by September 1st. We've got about a month to go. If y'all would consider joining, the link will be in the description. That would mean a lot to me. A membership helps support small creators like me who put a lot of time and research into their videos. Much love to y'all. Peace.
What else have you heard in this offseason that you couldn't report, or because it turned out not to be true, but you were like, oh my God, I have to, what can you tell us that isn't already out there?
What do you want to know about, Max? Give me something. Throw a topic at me.
You hear so much that
I know
I was actually
one thing
hoping
that Shams don't know, but I won't say it. You didn't catch this one thing, and I was surprised that you didn't catch it. I'm like, oh.
I want to hear about this now.
No one knew about it, and they still don't know about it. And I might reveal it.
So it's a breadcrumb that he didn't pick up on?
No, it's not a breadcrumb.
Hold
it's a loaf of bread.
Now you tell me, Rich, if I'm right or wrong. Is it the Cavs front office group, Kobe Altman, Brandon Weems, the Gilbert family, Grant Gilbert?
Okay. What are you referring to? What happened?
Meeting with LeBron in Akron in early July. Is that the loaf of bread you're talking about?
Early July? Wait a minute. How did you know about that?
I couldn't say,
So you thought this got by Shams, but he has all the details.
I thought it got by Shams because
like,
he never said anything to me about that. Nobody knew about that. That did not get out nowhere. Nobody knew about that.
Why was this not reportable? Why did you not report it?
The integrity aspect matters more than anything, because this was information I was told by multiple people on background, off the record. This was something that ethically I couldn't report, because one, it wasn't told to me in a way that I was able to have reporter go double check and triple check. It was told to me off the record.
I remember thinking at the time that the Jets...
Hold on.
Yeah. All right.
I gotta answer this.
Go ahead, do it.
I'm on the show right now, but I had to take your call. Cause you Shams, I had to take it, You're my guy. What we got? Okay, perfect. All right.
Who gives who information when Shams calls you?
Don't worry about all that.
And he is chasing a championship doing that.
Yeah,
you are trying to win a championship. So when he does that, and then they hear from you or LeBron that that's not what's happening, people are like, well, you're trying to have your cake and eat it too.
No, what I'm saying is, you're saying it, most people are saying it with a negative connotation. When you get up and go to work every day, what are you chasing?
The dough.
Right.
Right.
Or you want to be successful or whatever the case may be. I just don't understand how people get up every day and try to nitpick at you trying to put yourself in the best position to win at anything, because take sports out of it. Wouldn't you try to put yourself in the best position to win in life? If you could pick your job and pick your salary and pick, the things you had to do and pick your off days and pick, like, why?
Well, because there's another step to it, and I'd like to hear your opinion on this. The next step is that then once if you've succeeded in putting yourself in a good winning situation and you succeed, you will then point to the success as evidence of your greatness. But the point from others is, yes, but when you are jumping from team to team, constantly looking for a situation that you'll be very competitive in, you're giving yourself an advantage in terms of winning, that then when you point to it and say, see how great I am, I've won all this stuff, or others point to it and say, you've won all that stuff. Yeah, well, you kept putting yourself in a position to do it. It's not that it's irrational. It's that if you then turn around and say, man, you can't say we're doing that, people resent it.
But see, I disagree with that, because it's not you putting yourself in a position to do it. No, you earned the welcoming to put yourself in position to do it, because there's a lot of players that can't do it because nobody wants them.
Especially not at 40-something years old.
No, I'm just saying, these guys just having all these conversations, it's never been a time in their career that they had the ability to choose where they go.